my God. How are ya? Give me 2 seconds. I'll shut the fucking music off so you can actually hear me and I can actually hear you okay. All this music's from like the YouTube free library of music. Because I'm a cheap bastard and I'm not paying licensing rights for shit. So everybody seeing me okay? Everybody hearing me okay? Everything going okay? Let me bring up that chat window so I can actually see what's happening. Oh shit. Leo Howler, what did I click on? You clicked on a link, Leo. You clicked on a link. Oh shit, man. I'm sorry. Run now. Oh. I'm still with like the ghetto webcam setup here. Where I have, no shit, a PS3i velcroed to the top of a very thin computer monitor. It's something I'll eventually work on. Today is not the day that I work on it, though. So, how's everybody doing? Because I'm pretty fucking tired. Yeah, the lag's pretty normal. There's just no way to keep like the chat going and the video going and all this without a lot more power than what I have. So what I try to do is I set up a little bit of lag and then I talk and stare at the room and see what shit I can see in there and respond. Oh. Wow, man. Leo, I forgot what I even said to you at this point, buddy. Something about clicking on shit and being sorry. It's been a long fucking day, guys. Like an amazingly long day. I'm genuinely not sure how long this day has been anymore. I mean, this is kind of the condolences stream, isn't it? Because it was supposed to be the Dream Daddy stuff tonight, but guys, I am wiped. I am completely fucking wiped. You guys have knocked me out of rotation so much over the past month between IFC and FurryDelphia and all the shit before both of those with the fundraising. I have just had my ass kicked over this. So I got no energy to sit there and make a bunch of jokes about the special Dream Daddies and stuff like that that are popping up just because I'm that fucking tired. So I got no format for tonight, guys. I mean, I have none whatsoever. Wow. That was like a really bad... Like, I'm looking at the stream, so I'm seeing what you guys are seeing at the same time. And that was like the worst place for the video to freeze up. It did freeze up. I'm aware it froze up. I'm very sorry it froze up. There's nothing I can do about it freezing up occasionally. Well, fuck you, Dante. Dante PD. Same and not in a flattering pose. You can go to hell, sir. You can go straight to hell. I don't like you very much right now. All of my poses are flattering, even the ones that aren't. At least to me. My mother thinks I'm handsome. I don't even know what I'm looking at. There's nothing on that side of the screen. Oh, I'm at least able to chill this weekend. No, I'm not. Here's the long and the short. My yard is like waist fucking high right now. And some people know this, some people don't. I got bad knees. So when I'm going to the conventions and stuff, and I'm on my feet all day, or I'm in a car for 9 fucking hours driving to Indianapolis overnight, and my knee's not changing positions at all, excuse me, and my knee's not changing positions at all, uh, it'll lock and it swells up real bad. And like over the next 3, 4, 5 days, I can't really walk on it. And that's been an issue because I've been going to these conventions over the past 2 weeks, and that means my knee has been perpetually swollen, which means I can't mow the lawn, which means it's fucking giant at this point in time. So this weekend I'm going to be like going in and beating the hell out of my lawn with a weed whacker and then with a lawnmower to get it to a reasonable height before I can do anything else. But after that, yeah, maybe I'll have a chance to actually sit down for once and remember what it feels like to relax. And that's all before... What's the next one? Tiny Paws. Tiny Paws up in Danbury. Leo, don't push my body so hard. Man, I have beat the hell out of my body so much by this point in my life that it's just... I mean, I can sleep on my legs wrong and get a swollen knee or something out of something knocked out of joint or place. It's just how it is. I had a lot of jobs where I worked like really hard manual labor before I was a lawyer, and the end result of that is I have beat the shit out of myself over time. Yeah, exterminatus, we're knee swelling brothers, or brother and sister, or I don't know what your gender is, man. I'm just rambling. Oh, funny story from FurryDelphia. Okay, so we're at FurryDelphia. We're raising money for charity. It's me and Alkali Bismuth, and Saturday we're running around like chickens with their heads cut off. We do one panel, then we do another panel. Then Alkali says, "Hey, why don't we play King's Cup for charity?" And something about Alkali, that man is a madman. I mean, he flew in. He got in at like 2 a.m. the night before. He was flying out like 5 a.m. Sunday morning. It's like 11 and he's going, let's play a drinking game to raise money for the charity. So instantly I have no room to talk about being tired or exhausted, because that son of a bitch was at IFC, flew out to FurryDelphia, and is going to Furry Migration this weekend. And he's not bitching. I mean, he's not complaining about shit. So, you know, what room do I have to talk about it? Anyways, though, we're sitting there playing King's Cup, and a person sits down, obviously biologically was born a woman. And I spend like 10, 15 minutes saying, give the lady this, give the lady a hand, thank you, ma'am, no, ma'am. And God bless them, they're not saying a word to me. To correct me. They're very polite, very nice. And I look over, and they've got one of those tags around their neck with the pronouns on it. And it says he, him. I felt like shit. I could not apologize enough for that one. And of course, they laughed it off. I think they understood it wasn't a situation where I was like intentionally ignoring it. I just hadn't noticed yet. But that's my my awkward moment from FurryDelphia. So that's my awkward moment. I know of some other awkward moments from FurryDelphia, but those aren't my stories to tell, at least for not like a year or so. In like a year or so, I'll tell some of those. Alkali is a special case. Don't use him as a reference for sanity. I'll agree with that. But I will say this. Alkali has like I've talked to him a bit since I first met him at Anthrocon. I've had the chance to talk to him at IFC, now at FurryDelphia on the internet. Obviously, I've met his boyfriend, husband, whatever the fuck Xander is, really. Guys, he has like the biggest fucking heart of anybody I've ever met. It wasn't like more than a second that he knew that there was a convention that may need some help, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." Keep in mind, when he went to IFC, he wasn't at IFC as a performer. He was there as like the director of finance, so he has an important role there. And a week after, he's flying himself into Philadelphia to help a first year con have a really good year, and that to me is really special. And he has like a huge heart. Everything he did, everything he wanted to do was to help the convention and to help the charity raise money. So I mean, you guys got something special in that man. I talked to the little dude, and he's cool. He was totally toasted drunk after King's Cup, though. I guess we're talking about the same person I was just referring to. They didn't seem that drunk. They seemed really sober. The guy sitting like directly to my left during that game, though, he was trashed. Oh my god, that man was wasted. Like, people are handing him shots to do during King's Cup, and like Alkali and I both are going, no, he's done. Um, but after King's Cup, my ass went to bed. I went up to the room. I crawled into bed. There was no way in hell I was staying awake another minute. That was just exhausting to me. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Because I got shit. Really, I'm doing this because I was going to do Dream Daddy tonight. I decided against doing Dream Daddy for the reason I talked about earlier. I'm just too fucking wiped to be amusing with that. But I wanted to be on. I want to let you know, hey, I am still doing this shit. It's just been a really hectic month. Adrix has no idea what King's Cup is. The devil. It is the devil. It's a horrible game. You should never play it. But that's what King's Cup is it's Satan. It's actually a game, a bunch of cards around a cup. You pour stuff into the cup. You drink from the cup. Everybody has a beer from them. The cards mean different things. And people have to take drinks at different times. Here's the thing with King's Cup is there's a variant of it called Circle of Death. And in Circle of Death, you either keep playing until you are out of booze or you are out of cards. So, yeah. I used to play Circle of Death a good amount. So I find out furries play King's Cup and actually play a lighter version of King's Cup than what I'm used to. Was interesting. Here's the thing. You guys gotta understand, when you get to a certain age, you stop playing drinking games socially. When you go out and you drink, you're either drinking to get drunk or you're like drinking with people, but getting shit-faced drunk is no longer socially fun. It's a lot more fun to like have 2 or 3 glasses of wine and watch shitty videos on YouTube with a room full of people than it is to just get shit-faced. Skylar Ringtail, when are you going to make it out to be on Alkali's podcast Fireside Stream? Guys, if they want me to come out and I can make it work with my schedule, I'll certainly do it. But, the Dragon Show has their core. They got their group. They got what they want. But, if they ever want me out there and I can make it out there, I certainly will. Oh, Jesus Christ. Exterminatus. Hold on. Exterminatus, are you the guy who was like right next to me during King's Cup who was shit-faced? I'm watching the chat because I want to see the response to that. Exterminatus 111, are you my drunk man? Oh, that's right. There's a delay between the chat and everything else, isn't there? Wow. Uh, I almost want to like say, hey, Cole. But yeah, first of all, if I give you guys my Skype handle, it's just gonna start randomly Skyping throughout the day, and I'm just not down for like having a bunch of furries blowing up my Skype channel. Um, the green thing, that's dude. I saw a lot of green things. You're gonna have to be a hell of a lot more specific than that. Um, like the green thing, and I was the green thing at the furry convention. Okay. Oh, can you all tell how fucking wiped I am? My God. Oh, all right, man. I know who you are now. This gentleman gave me a bottle of very good Colorado whiskey at Anthrocon. That whiskey is somewhere around this house. I have no clue where anymore. Uh, I mean, I just have so much booze now. That there's no way I'm going to be able to drink it all outside of going to conventions with it. I believe it or not, I don't drink at home that often. I'll have like a drink when I get home, but I don't really get drunk in the house. I don't find that funny more now. You know, when I'm out with friends or when we have people over, yeah, I'll get trashed because that's what we do. Because we hate ourselves and our lives. But I don't really drink just like around the house. So, what is my least favorite legal or court scene in TV or movies? Anything on Law and Order. Uh, that's not real. And so many fucking people think it is. We used to, my father used to have a term for that. People who would watch Law and Order all the time and think it gave them some insight into the legal system. He called them Law and Order lawyers. Because they always, because on TV it's so fast. It's like you're arrested and then you're arraigned, and then like a week later there's the trial. And in real life, you know, it can take years to get to trial in some cases. Uh, so everybody's always got this thing. We'll file suit, and 2 months from now we'll have a trial. And you're going, no, we'll file suit, and 2 years from now you'll have a trial. If it doesn't get dismissed, and if nobody wins a summary judgment motion or any of that shit. So, Leo has so much to look forward to in his 40s. You know I'm not in my 40s, right? Like, seriously, I'm not in my 40s. I'm younger than that. I just look older than that. Because I had a lot of fucking hard living. Oh, man. Oh, no, man. Exterminators, I'm still going to drink your whiskey. I just have to find it first. You need to understand that. It will still be drank. The whiskey is not going to go to waste. It will be in my belly. It will cause me to make many bad decisions. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. So, want to watch my Twitch uncontrollably? Sit me down. Oh, it's Dante. Okay. Oh, yeah, Leo, that's right. That's right. You take it back. Leo's the one who said I was in my 40s. He just comes back into the room after I say I'm not in my 40s. Oh. Uh, it's not as bad. Actually, at FurryDelphia, a gentleman walked up to me and said, in front of people, and said, oh, you're Boozy. I thought you would be younger and thinner. And I looked at him and I said, well, I thought you would look like you showered before you left the shelter this morning. So, it's not the worst thing. Boozy is no older than 29. No, I am older than 29. I'm just not 40. Do I listen to any true crime podcasts or shows? Actually, I do. I listened to season 1 of Serial. I didn't like season 2 that much. I did like season 1. The problem with season 1 of Serial is, like, the whole thing is premised on this kid honestly saying I didn't do it. And the problem is anyone who wants to get out of prison on something like that is going to say they didn't do it. So I'm listening to it with a lawyer ear and not believing anything that's coming out of anyone's mouth because everybody fucking lies. And I'm sitting there, we're driving down the road, I'm listening to it, and I go, well, yeah, but jails are full of people who tell those types of stories. Of course I didn't do it. I wasn't guilty. And I'm making fun of it, and somebody goes, what if they're telling the truth? I said, well, then that sucks, but I don't think it's very likely. And the other one that I listen to is there's a serial killers podcast out there. I really like that one. It's just kind of interesting to hear it. The one thing I don't like is they have this whole disclaimer at the beginning. They got somebody who comes in and basically analyzes the serial killer. But they're like, this person is not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. They're just filling us in on the mental state of the serial killer. And then she proceeds to like psycho-fucking-analyze the killer for 3/4 of the show. And I'm like, you can't just say a disclaimer and then immediately do the thing you're disclaiming. It doesn't work like that. Last podcast on the left. I'm not listening to anything you tell me to listen to, sir. I'll tell you another one. I like lore. I like lore a lot. That one's real interesting. Oh shit, guys. We're only halfway through the hour, by the way. Just to point that out. I've been rambling for a little under 30 minutes. So, anything you want to say, toss it the fuck out there. Because I'm not really on the ball tonight. I've got like one fucking shoe off. I'm drinking Pepsi. And I'm going, when the fuck can I go to bed? This is just going to turn into like Boozy's sleep cam here in a minute. Because I am wiped. I don't think you guys understand how amazingly fucking tired I am. I completely misheard that as I like vor. I think that's a Freudian slip. I think you're hearing what you want to hear and not what I actually said, big wolf cock. Oh, man. So, what else is going on? See, I don't want to give, like, a roundup of FurryDelphia. Honestly, because I still have to think of how to talk about that one. Okay. So, here's the deal. FurryDelphia went off really well for the attendees. It really did, and huge kudos to the convention staff because they did a kick-ass job making sure the attendees had a good time. There were some issues that I'm aware of in getting to having that good time. That really, it's nothing on them because, I mean, I represent a lot of small businesses, so I'm really used to seeing small businesses start and fails and start and fail and start and fail, and it happens all the fucking time, and it's always a mixture of like one thing. They're really good in the field, but they suck in the office. I mean, they're really good at delivering what they set out to deliver when they can, but their back-of-house operations are just a total fucking wreck. Or they're really good in the office, but they can never quite pull it together when it comes time to deliver on their promise. And FurryDelphia had some back-of-office issues. But it's nothing you don't expect to see from first-timers running a business. And that's what a nonprofit is. It's a business. A lot of hesitation, a lot of maybe not doing things exactly right, but it's because it's their first time. And I expect that Drain and his entire crew, they're going to get much better at that as time goes on. People had fun, though. And there were no major incidents, and nobody's aware of any major incidents. There's minor shit people talk about, but there's nothing horribly wrong that went on. And that's the important thing, is that these people came together and they built up this convention and they got it out there. They overcame every single obstacle that got put in their way. Some self-created, some not self-created. And some that are just the result of a little bit of inexperience and taking on that type of role. And they put together a generally good convention with no big issues and a lot of people who enjoyed it and a lot of people who had a hell of a time. And they deserve all the applause in the world for that. And that's really all I'm going to say on that until my blog post. It's just growing pains. And every company has them, and every business has them, and every convention's going to have them. Especially when they're brand new and getting off the ground. And, it was nothing fatal. It seemed to work out well. And the guys and their staff learned how to do things better next year, and that's what it's all about. Oh, shit. Do it now, Silent Bob. Should I tell that one now? Yeah. At closing ceremonies at FurryDelphia, and some of you heard about this over there. At the closing ceremonies, I've heard the two fucking numbers I care about, which is the number of people who's there and how much was raised for charity. So I have tuned the fuck out. It's over for me. It's done. I'm ready to leave. And I'm on the phone. I'm doing the Twitter stuff and sending out, here's the numbers. And Alkali's on his plane, so I'm sending him a Telegram message. Hey, this is how much was raised for charity. And I realize, as I'm sitting there, that the chairman has stopped talking. And somebody with a very different tone of voice is now speaking. So I look up, and there is a gentleman with a goatee, wearing a button-up shirt and a jacket, with a little bag beside him and a hat that says CIA. And he's got the microphone right up in his mouth, like he's sucking a dick. He's got it right up in his mouth. And he's going on and on and on. And the phrase that really catches my attention is, furries are a creation of the U.S. government in the 1990s as an experiment. And the first thing that goes in my mind when I'm hearing all this is, wow, this is a really fucking weird bit. Because I think it's the convention running like some little bit that they're going to be doing. So some skits going on. And he keeps talking. He's talking about handing out shirts to, Team Fox and Team Dog. And it's about at that point, I look right above him at the board of directors. And right behind him is the con chair, Drain. And the look on Drain's face says it all. It's like I looked at his face and immediately went, oh, this isn't a bit. This is real. And the guy keeps going on. He's still talking. And then he's talking about two competing teams. He's yanking T-shirts out of his bag and holding them up like homemade T-shirts out of his fucking bag. You don't even know what's on them. And then he goes, but we found out that there was a third team, the Vegan Space Wolves. And he starts unbuttoning his shirt, and I'm going, oh shit. This is going to an even stranger place. But he's got on another T-shirt underneath for, I assume, the Vegan Space Wolves. And then he starts yelling, but it's okay because we're all the same, because we're all shapeshifters. We're all shapeshifters together. At this point, security finally, and this guy's been going on for a few minutes, security finally rounds the con chair's table, and they're coming up to take him out. And he sees them, and he whips off the CIA hat. He reaches into his bag. He pulls out a Guardians of the Galaxy hat, puts it on top of his head, leans into the mic, and yells, do it now, Silent Bob! And I'm thinking, this is how I die. A crazy man blows up the convention center at a furry con. Then he yells again, do it now, Silent Bob! reaches into his pocket, brings out a giant fistful of money, and flings it into the audience. As security's escorting him out, this man's throwing cash into the audience. And the room's quiet. Nobody fucking knows what to think about this. People are picking up the money. Nobody has any clue what to think about this. It's all just a perpetual state of, did that just fucking happen? And that's when the con chair picks up the mic and goes, what was that? And without missing a beat, I stand up and go, about $400 for charity, and sit back down. And I'm so glad that they ran with that. Because at the end of it, it seemed like people, for a period of time, weren't aware that wasn't a skit. Like I'm walking out, and some kid stops me and goes, are we supposed to get that money to the charity? Because I kept it, and walks out the fucking door. Which, by the way, that's a dick move. Don't do that. You didn't do anything for the money. It cost you nothing to put it in the fucking bucket. It's a crazy guy's cash. Give it to the fucking pit bulls. But yeah, the con almost made away with that. And then somebody at the con tweets out, we're not associated with the gentleman at our closing ceremonies, but we'd like to thank him for his generous donation to the charity. Like 10 minutes after closing ceremony, somebody walks up and they hand me a business card that the guy had been handing out over the weekend. It says World Domination Inc. INK Inc. like a printing press. And that just kind of like we're hearing from the staff radios. The guy's sitting in the parking lot and says he doesn't know where he is and doesn't know where his money went. And I'm just like lawyer sense in the back of my brain is tingling and telling me, get your ass off the floor or you're somehow getting dragged into this. So I went up to the fucking suite, finished packing, and got my ass out of there as fast as I could. But yeah, that do it now, Silent Bob. There was like a moment where I was thinking, this is how I'm going to die. A crazy man's about to blow up a furry convention. Okay. And yeah, the fucked up thing about that is, like in the few days after, there were several people who still very obviously thought that was like a bit that was planned by the convention, which should tell you something, because how great is it that something that genuinely fucking crazy happens and people are sitting there going, that was a weird skit to have at closing ceremonies. Your community is fucked up, guys. Like a crazy man screaming, do it now, Silent Bob, and throwing money in the air. And your first thought is, oh, this is weird, but it's not so weird that it's something that wouldn't genuinely happen as part of a convention. So yeah, that was part of FurryDelphia. Yeah, that kind of took me for a loop. I wasn't. How was the suite? The suite was amazing. It was great. Lot of fun in that suite. We actually Friday night drank more than a little bit in there, and then Saturday night I was well fucking asleep. By the time the other people in the suite came back, I mean, I was gone. I was out. But the suite was really, really nice. And I do want to give a shout out to a couple people, some of whom are in the chat room right now. You may have noticed I found like kind of a little group I hang around with and talk to on a regular basis. And several of them were at FurryDelphia, and Alkali's flight got delayed on Friday. So I got there Friday, and I thought, oh, gee, I've got like 3 hours till my panel. I'm going to go out to dinner. And I just sat down, and Alkali sent me a message and said, could you cover Who's Line for me? And I say, yeah, when is it? And it's like in 10 minutes, so we rushed back to the hotel. And it didn't stop. Like from then till Sunday, it didn't fucking stop. I was running back and forth doing stuff. I had Who's Line, I had my panel, I had Boozy and Alkali drink on Saturday, and then I jumped in on Libation Appreciation for charity, then King's Cup for charity, then I helped out with the charity auction. I mean, I went into FurryDelphia with 2 things on the schedule for me to do, and I walked out with like 6, 7 things that I had done. And I actually brought my family, my partner and one of my kids to this convention because I thought, well, gee, I only have 2 things I'm doing, so I'll have plenty of time to kind of walk them around, show them shit I've noticed, and let them get a feel for what the fuck I've been doing for the past few months. And that didn't happen, like at fucking all. But if it hadn't been for a couple of the people who are in the chat and some friends of theirs, Drew and Dante and Toad and Meow, who's not in there because she's off being fucking wonderful in Colorado somewhere, helping me out and running stuff back and forth and really helping out with the kid and the partner and all that, because my weekend was turned completely upside down. I wouldn't have been able to do the panels I did, and to help raise the money for the charity and the stuff like that, because a lot of that was thrown at me last minute to kind of help out. I don't mind doing it. I mean, that's really, I had somebody ask me, what's with all the conventions, and the real thing is right now, guys, I like being around you fuzzy little assholes. You're great people. You're wonderful. You're a lot of fun. For some reason, you shit stains still find me amusing. Number 2 is, as long as you guys are willing to give money to charity for me to show up and fucking curse at you and drink, I'll keep doing it. It makes me feel good to go out there and do something to help a charity, so I'll probably keep doing it because it's all going to a good cause at that point. So I don't mind doing that. I really, really don't. It just was unexpected this weekend. Somebody's asking how we got 5 people in a mini. They played a lot of games in the backseat. I don't know, because I sat up front where nobody else was. Yeah, so that's that part. What was the other one? Oh, the kid outside. Like Sunday, I'm outside, I'm having a cigarette, right? And I'm wearing my sports jacket. I've got the badges and everything on, but I'm sitting there, I'm having a cigarette. And there's this kid, like, right beside me, talking to his friends. And he starts talking about me. Not me, but he starts talking about Boozy, this, Boozy. And none of it's nice. I mean, all of it is really kind of, oh, that guy's an asshole, or, oh, he's just doing this or doing that, and I don't go in for that shit, and he's not funny at all. And, like, his buddy looks behind him and sees me and goes, he's right behind you. And the kid turns around, sees me, and I'll wave, and he comes over, and we talk for a little bit. And, yeah, he's very intent on remaining apathetic about everything. And as he's remaining apathetic, though, he's very much, I don't go in for any of that. I don't follow a lot of people on Twitter, and I don't really like that stuff. I'm just kind of here for this or this or this. I say, okay, that's cool. Do me a favor sometime. Go read a couple of the blog posts. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. I understand it. I'm not offended. Quite frankly, I've been called worse by people whose opinions matter much more than yours. But no, really, we have a nice conversation. Turns out he's an urban explorer. He likes to go into buildings and all that stuff, and he shows me some of his pictures, and we talk for a good bit about that, about abandoned places we know and that people have been into. And I like to think he left with a better impression of me than when he came in with, since he'd actually fucking met me now. If he didn't, then that's fine by me. But I just found it amusing that he had such a strong opinion until his friend said, that's him right there, right? Or like right behind you, that guy with the cigarette, that's Boozy, right there. So yeah, maybe kind of watch stuff like that, especially if you know somebody's present. And really kind of the 180, the real quick, oh fuck that guy, hi, type of thing. I thought it was funny. I really did. Might as well tell the whole mini story, including why we weren't in your size for. We weren't in my size for adults car because my size for adults car was on the other side of the fucking parking lot, and I wasn't walking to it. And to intentionally avoid driving to the restaurant, when I walked into the hotel, I took a flask out of my back pocket and took 3 or 4 very large-sized gulps of scotch. Specifically so if anybody asked me to fucking drive, I could look at them and go, nope, sorry, I've been drinking. Because I'm that type of asshole. Plus, it was really funny to watch the three of you jam your asses into the back of that Mini. That was just wonderful. Like, here's Dante and here's Toad and here's Meow sitting on their knees between the two, and there's the two of us up in the front, and it wasn't even like fucking fast anymore with all of our fat asses piled into the thing. It was like a fucking go-kart with the lawnmower engine. It was hilarious. So, you know. And then we had to jump it back, and that was even better. Climbing everybody back in after eating to go back to the hotel so I could rush into that Who's Line panel. That was great. And Who's Lion? Oh my god! And I have to say Who's Lion? Lion. Alkali corrected me every time I said Who's Line. And at first I'm thinking, why is he being so? Oh yeah, trademarks. He doesn't want to get sued. Got it. That was fun. I enjoyed that a lot. Got to do a cross-examination of somebody during my panel as an example of how we use cross-examinations. So it was a good time. It really was. And like I said earlier, any of the issues on the back end didn't affect the convention at all. And they weren't even big issues. They're issues that, now these guys know what to look out for, and next year they're going to be able to take that information, they're going to be able to take the lessons they learned from it, and they're going to be able to put on an even better fucking convention for you guys. So, I mean, that's FurryDelphia in the roundup right there. That really is. That's the long and the short of FurryDelphia. And yeah, I'm going to do one of my written posts where I fucking suck off the con chair, because there's not a lot bad to say when it comes down to it. There weren't people running around naked fucking animals. There weren't people being obscenely drunk or causing damage or any of that stuff. And that's the message that really needs to be said, because it's always worth reminding people, hey, maybe you have one event in 2015 that was a complete shit show. And we all know what I'm talking about when I say that now. But it's 2017, and I've been now to 4 of your conventions, and I haven't seen any huge social issues or major issues or huge problems that affect other people. I've seen, a couple things that, in a role advising small businesses, I would probably tell people to avoid. But those are lessons that you learn from, and you get to have a year or two, and you get to build from them. But nothing that's bad. Nothing that's out there that really kind of makes you go, oh my god, what are these fucking freaks doing? So yeah, there's that. I am glad FurryCon is back in Philly. Yeah, so the group here is local. And that means a lot to me. I like helping local things. Like I said, I represent a lot of small businesses, so I represent a lot of local businesses. And it's always nice to have another thing starting up, especially something that helps the community that's just been so great and so welcoming, and has really kind of fucking kidnapped me and yanked me into it. Speaking of which, funny thing. So like last night, there's a new member in the Lawyer Slack. And he posts up about halfway through it. I'm new. I don't get all of the in jokes. Is Boozy a furry, or is he making fun of furries, or what's the deal here? And the response I have is, I wrote a thing, and now they've kidnapped me and made me their pet. And like after that, it's like 9 people what he said. Um, as a matter of fact, we outed another furry in the lawyer Slack today. Isn't that right, Toad? Huh? Oh yeah, that's right. We're on delay, so I'll wait for him to say, "God damn it." Uh, yes, the secret lawyer Slack, Max Maximilian. The super secret lawyer Slack. It's lawyers only. And I shit you not, it really is lawyers only. Um, you have to apply for membership. As part of your application for membership, you have to be able to prove to the administrator that you are a licensed attorney. That's only one of the things that they require. He actually goes through and decides whether or not he wants you in it. And there's like 400 odd lawyers from across the country in there now, and some from across the world. And my joke is I was in it when it was much, much lower, and that's how I got through the fucking door in the first place. And to be honest, you can either thank or curse the lawyer Slack for me being here in the first place, because it really was. It's the lawyer Slack and the guys in the lawyer Slack are the ones who kind of encouraged me to start a blog in the first place, which is what led to me writing all these pieces. And in fact, it's somebody in the lawyer Slack that actually turned me on to that whole RMFC thing in the very beginning. They posted the Twitter cease and desist letter when I had absolutely nothing more to say. And there we go. I just saw Toad's goddamn it. There we go, you little shit. But it's the lawyer Slack is the reason that I found you guys. The lawyer Slack is the reason that I started doing all this. And, you know, it's been good. I really enjoy going to conventions. I really enjoy doing the panels. I really enjoy raising money for charity. Hopefully you guys will continue having me until you become bored of me and, like, make a fucking blood sacrifice of me to Walt Disney or whatever the fuck it is you do to people you no longer have a use for. So, once again, don't tell QM I'm smoking in the house. I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I don't feel like standing up, and I'm going to bed the second we're done with this. So I've got like 12 minutes out there. Anybody want to fucking have me call them on Slack or something, or on Slack on Skype or something? Because I got nothing better to do right now, and I'm more willing to like place a phone call to a random fucking person and stick you on the air here for like 5-10 minutes. You have like no idea how willing I am to make you a part of this if it keeps me moving for another 9-10 minutes. Ardix Blackclaw, we won't get bored of you. Oh, thank God. For a moment, I thought I may be free. We'll make you a chairman first. Yeah. You got to find a convention willing to have me, guys. You don't want to see me as a goddamn convention chairman. Trust me. That would be a nightmare. You guys think Kage's bad? Oh, you ain't seen shit. Liability everywhere. Fucking going around and patting chairs and shit. God, that would be horrible. You know what I just thought of? Not too long ago, I saw a bumper sticker, and it read, "You can't be Catholic, or pro-Catholic, and pro-abortion." And the thought process on that kind of worries me. Because is anybody really pro-abortion? Like, there's pro-choice. Is anybody really pro-abortion? Because pro-abortion makes it sound like there's a guy walking around like maternity wards with a shop vac and a coat hanger kicking in doors and offering abortions to people. Boozy, do you know yet if you'll be making it to MFF? Skylar, that is like right on my consideration list. The second Tiny Paws is done. I want to say yes. I don't want anybody to make plans based off me saying yes yet. Just because I have to make sure it's the end of the year, and my office is not very fond of people taking time off in December. But if I can, I certainly do want to be there, and I'll certainly get there. Really, the only thing that would hold me up right now is, can I get that Friday off? If I can get that Friday off and maybe the next Monday off, definitely I'll be there, just so I can make sure I can get a flight. Because you gotta understand, I don't close my office early, and my office closes at 6 p.m. And the nearest airport takes about an hour to get to from my office. So for me to catch a flight on a Friday night to Chicago means that flight has to leave at like 8 o'clock to give me time to get to the airport and get through security. So there we go. Haley, hi. You had to make a channel on YouTube? I'm so sorry. Shit happens. You already have like a fucking club in Second Life. Trust me. You'll survive YouTube. But I mean, generally, the answer to the MFF question is, if I can get at least that Friday, if I can get some time off approved and I have no court appearances that Friday, yes. Yeah, I'll go. Because that'll let me leave on Friday morning and at the very least come back that Sunday night. So, if I can. I tell normal people I'm pro-choice, though, really. So you're the asshole wondering maternity wards with the shop vac and the coat hanger. No, Max, I'm not secretly asking anybody to pay for an air taxi service. It's not a question of can I afford the flights. If I book them like middle of September, they're dirt fucking cheap from Philadelphia to Chicago. Those are two major airports. The airfare is normally really, really cheap, especially when it's connecting flights. And Chicago's like a United hub. The question is are there flights that fucking late if I don't get that Friday off? If I can't get out of the office on that Friday, are there flights late enough where it makes sense for me to fly out and do that? Because, yeah, I mean, there's just no sense in me flying out real early on a Saturday to fly back, real late on a Sunday. I personally cannot justify spending that money on one night. I can justify it for a weekend, though. Oh, wait. 7 more minutes. I have 7 more minutes, and then I am free. Fucking Master will give Dobby a sock, and Dobby can take his ass to bed. What else? What else do we have? I guess I could talk about some shit that's coming up. We're putting together a podcast. That's still happening. I need to upload my files over here, and I think we've got like 2 more segments to record for it, and then it's all up to Grandiose Toad in there with his wonderful mixing skills, and me getting the podcast domain and server picked up. So there's that. Hopefully that'll be up next week. I don't think that's being too optimistic. Of course, I didn't think it was being too optimistic to think we'd have it up before FurryDelphia, but that was before I was all of a sudden going to Indianapolis too. So we do have that coming down the pike. The AWOO brief, that is still coming. I don't know if you guys have picked up on it or not. August has been a bit of a shit show month for me. And it put me behind on a lot of shit. That is still coming. I've got QM and I've got the guys that are now helping me keep the content production, all that shit on schedule. Are kicking my ass to get that one finished so I can get it up, because I did take money for that. Even if half of it went to charity, I did take money for that. So I need to get that done, and I need to get that out to you. What else do we have coming up? Tomorrow is the second part of the Fursuit Furry Friday contract issues from inkedfur.com. Tomorrow we're going to be covering contracts between fursuit makers and minors and the legal ramifications of those. So there's that. Then next week we're going to be doing returning to the normal posting schedule on Lawyers and Liquor. I'm going to be doing Film Friday, and we're going to be looking at the Paper Chase, which is a movie about law school that scares the shit out of everybody. I noticed that, like I said, hopefully the podcast will be up next week, and Toad's just like silent. Like there's nothing from him in there right now. I think I may have just given him a heart attack by promising a fucking deadline. So, BoozyCon, you show up, you drink, you regret it, you get a shirt, you go. That is Max, you have literally just described every furry convention I've gone to so far. Show up, drink, regret it, get a shirt, go home. There we go. That's every single furry convention I've gone to. There are minors with fursuits. Yes, there are. There are also fursuit makers who are getting fucked by minors. Not in the literal sense. Boozy, look at your Twitter. I'm in the middle of fucking doing a stream and I'm being told look at my Twitter, so things must have gone fucking horribly wrong. Oh, you suck. Oh, you are just the fucking worst. Here is your sock, and it's a blue fuzzy sock. I don't like you. I don't like you at all. That was not okay. Oh. Did you ever have a follow-up to that article about rape? It is coming. That will actually be this month's Fetish Friday. I'm going to be doing the second part of the It's Still Rape article on this month's Fetish Friday. That will be the third Friday of the month in September. Yeah, my vacation kind of... Sorry, my vacation took precedence over all you assholes. Prior to this, I had not had a vacation in like 8 years. Which is a long fucking time to go without taking a break, especially in my profession. So when I went on vacation, I wasn't touching the website. I wasn't touching YouTube. I wasn't logging into the office. I wasn't doing any of this. I was done for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So, oh, Ardrix, don't be sad. I like the sock. I just can't wear it. So that's where we are. And we got 1 minute left. Oh, thank God. I'm almost finished. Hey, guys, once again, as always, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to me. There's some shit coming up, like I said, the podcast. I did just add, by the way, a new patron level on the Patreon, which it doesn't get you a whole hell of a lot. It gets you everything I already do, and it gets you like a day's early access to the themed Friday posts that I do, which is the Film Friday, the Freaky Friday, the Fetish Friday, and Furry Friday. So there's that. And that's about it. I can't think of anything else to bring up, guys. I'm gonna go the fuck to sleep. 'Cause I'm exhausted. And I think we all accept that I'm tired by now. So dudes, thank you very much for tuning in. It was great talking to you again. I enjoy this every time I do it, even when I'm tired as hell. But I am gonna call it a night. I should be back tomorrow night on the Twitch channel, doing part 3 of Boozy Dreams of Daddy, as I play my way through Dream Daddy because you assholes are fucking cruel. I love you all. Have a good night.